I've worked night shifts most of my life. You get used to silence, to emptiness. But every once in a while, something happens that makes you wish the sun would never set again. I was an intern at a nursing home, barely 19, doing my night rotation. The halls always smelled faintly of bleach, mixed with something I never got used to: old age and silence. Around 2 a.m., one of the nurses called me over to the security monitors. "Do you see that?" she whispered. On the screen, someone was standing in the corridor outside room 212, an elderly woman wearing a hospital gown, perfectly still. We rushed down the hall together. Empty. Not a single person there. We told ourselves maybe the cameras glitched, but later, as the elevator doors were closing, both of us saw her again, an elderly woman, smiling at us before the doors sealed shut. The next morning, I replayed the footage. The camera clearly showed the elevator doors closing, but there was no one between them, nothing at all.
I wasn't there for this one, but it happened where I worked later on, a locked nursing unit. Only staff could come and go at night. One of the night employees, a man who had worked there for years, suddenly changed. Security footage showed him sitting upright at the nurse's desk. Then, out of nowhere, he began sobbing, head and hands shaking. He stood, sprinted down the corridor, and vanished. We searched everywhere. Doors were locked. Cameras never showed him leaving. It was as if he'd run into a corner of the building that didn't exist. He never came back. Not for his paycheck, not to collect his things, not once. And to this day, whenever I walk past that corridor, I feel a strange draft, like something is still running past me.
I took a second job once at a 7-Eleven, overnight shifts. Just me and buzzing fluorescent lights. A man stumbled in, reeking of alcohol. He leaned against the counter, muttering. I pretended to restock shelves, but I heard him clearly. I should just rob this place. Nobody would stop me. My hands shook as I grabbed a rag and pretended to wipe the counter. I discreetly texted a local officer I knew, typing one word: help. Minutes later, the man shoved his hand into his jacket. I thought that was it. I thought I was done. The door chimed. The officer walked in, calm, steady. They found a loaded revolver in the man's pocket. If I had been slower with that text, I might not be here telling this story. For a while, I worked nights at a hotel. I hated the basement most of all. Cold air, humming pipes, walls painted decades ago. I'd stand near the surveillance monitors and feel it, eyes watching me. Every time I looked back, nothing. One night I heard it, the sound of children running, bare feet slapping against tile, high-pitched giggles echoing down the hall. But the basement hallways were empty, always empty. I told myself it was stress, lack of sleep, until one night, while changing the laundry carts, I caught a reflection in the chrome handle, a small hand pressed against my shoulder. When I spun around, no one was there. My last story still haunts me. I was working security at an old hospital. Most of it had been shut down, but sometimes we were asked to check the old dormitories, the ones where nuns used to live. I got a call from dispatch. Check the dorms. Someone reported movement. The halls smelled of dust and mold. I swept through each room, empty. Then came a crash, a deafening bang from the next hallway. I ran. The sound of heavy footsteps bolted past me, racing down the corridor. The lights flickered, buzzing with static. But when I reached the end, the hallway was deserted, all the doors locked. I radioed dispatch. I checked it out, false alarm. They paused, confused. We never called you. Nobody placed a request for a check tonight. So who sent me there?
Night shifts change you. The silence makes you notice things most people never will. Sometimes it's just exhaustion, playing tricks. But sometimes it's something else entirely.